My name is Darrell Springer, and been involved with the Prayer Institute for about 10, 12 years or so. Initially got inspired to become involved with it during a New Year's Eve celebration. Pastor Suzette was preaching, and she had held an altar call. And this was at the Power Center. And this was actually about 15 years ago when this occurred. She held an altar call for persons who had back problems. And she said, anyone who has a back problem, come up and I want to pray for you. And she explained that typically if you have a back problem, it's because one leg is longer than the other. And that was all well and good. And I'm sitting back there because up until this point, I had progressed or elevated myself to just a skeptic of healing. Because up until that time, I did not have a very good experience or feeling with healing ministries and whatnot because of all the TV people on there. But I was a skeptic, meaning that intellectually I wrapped my mind around it, emotionally and spiritually, I'm still trying to grapple with it. So she then said something that forever changed my life. She said, there are some of you out here who want to believe that this can occur, and if that's you, come on up. I shot to the front. My background is science, so I'm very technical and very, very specific. So she partnered me up with the brother that was sitting in a chair. Everybody, all the persons with back problems were sitting in a chair across the altar. I'm sitting in front of the guy, and he's a big dude, he's about my size. And we were to hold their legs, their ankles rather, and sitting in front of them, and we would see them grow. Well, I'm like, okay. Well, my thing is, I'm like, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna really happen. So I made sure that Buddy was sitting all the way back in the back of the chair, and I'm monitoring him and making sure that he's back there like nobody else on the row was. And then I had my knuckles on the inside of his ankles and my hands on the outside. And my hands are kind of big. So I had them nice wrapped around in there to monitor them. And when they were sitting there, my knuckles were off, like this. And the whole purpose of that is like that if it's gonna happen, it's not gonna be because he shifted his hips or moved his butt or anything like that, but it's gonna actually have happened. And she began to pray, and sure enough, my knuckles began to line up, and I'm like, he ain't moved nothing, he ain't twisted nothing. I mean, he's just receiving what God was pouring into him. From that moment, when I saw that happen with my own eyes and my own hands on there, I believed so much so to the point to where working with the Prayer Institute started working with them a few months later as simply a prayer minister and praying. And at that time, I called myself a special teams because I only worked during prayer exposure. And so, but that was an eye-opening experience all in and of itself, and how the Lord moved and began to use each of us as individuals, as conduits for His Holy Spirit to flow through us. It's nothing special about any of us, but it's the Spirit of God who flows through us and our willingness to allow Him to flow through. That occurred, and it progressed to the point to where now, as I'm a rotational leader with the Prayer Institute, and I have done what Pastor Suzette has done on many occasions. I've seen people's feet grow, and again, I say it not me, but it's the God in me, if you will. And but her ministry of being able to see that, I was able to have persons' legs grow. I've seen miracles happen time and time and time again, and it's just a wonderful and blessed thing to do, because the kingdom of God, if you really, really begin to even fathom the power of prayer, you would begin to realize that you are so much more than what you think you are.